stop by Corbley Hall at some point and grab your copy of the newest episode of Herd Talks on a floppy disk. We'll have it available. If you can't make it, go ahead and dial up your internet, and you can find us there, right? So, because we can only store 3 minutes on each floppy disk. So it'll be a lot of floppy disks. You got to change it out about 5 times to get the full episode, but we'll have them here for you. Welcome to Herd Talks, the podcast for Marshall students by Marshall students. I'm Luke Jeffrey.
I'm Ashton McClure.
And have you heard? Apple's tech just dropped, which means TikTokers, bloggers, tech reviewers, website tech enthusiasts, and just general techies around the world are marveling at the newest member of the Apple iPhone lineup, the iPhone
family.
14. Right, so a lot of people are on that right now, but while everybody is busy looking at the newest technology and wondering why we don't have a fourth camera, we're going to throw it back. Way, way back.
Throw it back. Quote from Doja Cat.
So while everybody's looking at the newest developments, I figured it'd be nice for us to go and look at some of the old tech that we actually still use today, because some are timeless staples, right? Nobody's still carrying around the first generation iPhone.
No.
But there are some pieces of tech that apparently America just can't live without, no matter how far we've come. So that's what we're going to be looking at today.
So I don't really understand why everyone has to run out and go get the newest iPhone. Mine works just fine. I mean, mine's a bit more newer. I think mine's maybe the 12 Pro or something. So it's pretty nice. But I don't need to go and get an upgrade right now because Apple released a new phone.
See, I get that. And while I don't need it, I really like to have it. I'm a tech enthusiast, right? So when new stuff drops, I like to learn about it, read about it. Not even just because oh, wow, it can do that. But to me, it's amazing to see the exponential leaps that some of the companies take at times. And then also, it's funny to see how many people upgrade from the iPhone 13 to the 14 because it has one more FPS on the video. There are features that people buy them for and they don't really need. But I am a tech enthusiast. Even I built my own computer, right? So that was a project I did in high school. It was a project I did. So I ordered all the parts and got them together. But while I was trying to learn about it, I actually went and worked at a computer manufacturing warehouse. So they actually put together some of the stuff.
It sounds like an adult job.
Well, I mean, I was born at 60 years old, so it is what it is. But I learned a lot while I was there, but they put me on the keyboard assembly line. So I was working on typing keyboards.
Okay.
It didn't last very long though. I actually got fired pretty
quick.
Why
would you get fired?
They said I wasn't putting in enough shifts. They got a lot of customer complaints.
No. Yeah, I was so into that story. I was like, this is a Luke Jeffrey job.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to work at an assembly line.
That's a bad joke.
I did actually build my own computer, though. Fun fact. That.
I could see that. That's why I was so involved. Because, I know you did that.
My gaming PC, I did build it myself. It was really fun.
So did you, order the parts? How did you do that?
Well, yeah. Order
and
the
was
parts.
it cheaper?
It's like a tech Lego set. It's like a Lego set for tech people.
Yeah.
It's very, self-explanatory.
So was it cheaper to build it yourself?
100%. Yeah. It's probably a $500,000 difference to build it myself.
Huh.
So I got the deal was basically it was my mom's graduation gift, right? When my sister graduated high school to go to college, she got her a laptop, and I was getting a laptop from the school, so I was like, Mom, I'm gonna cut you a deal. Right?
Oh my!
How about instead of me getting a laptop because I already have one, how about I order the parts for a gaming computer, and I put it together. It took a little convincing, but she finally said yes. So because I built it myself, instead of getting just an okay gaming computer, I got top of the line stuff and put it together. I even got a really good monitor, a whole new monitor. It was awesome, but that's neither here nor there. That's new tech with new tricks, but we're going to be looking at old tech with new tricks. I get to use our new cough button. So this is one of the new things we have. We have a cough button, and my allergies are kicking my butt right now. So I'm going to be using this a lot. But I kept you in the dark on this one because I wanted to see your reactions to some of these.
You
right?
literally scratched it out.
Right. So America still uses these. The world still uses them, and it's amazing. So the first one, I'm doing it from like least surprising to most surprising, I feel like. And in other countries, the last one is actually very common. But in America, it is like, why would you still use that, right?
Okay.
So the first one we have is pagers.
Okay, I can see that.
People still use pagers.
Yeah.
And that's like, okay, well, that's weird, but it kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah, because don't doctors use those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pagers, beepers, they first rolled out in 1921. And for those of you that are unaware, you can wear it and you get like a code, and people can page or beep your code. And it's basically saying like, call me, right? So you get a beep, right? Like I think my dad used to have a pager, and he would get a beep, and it'd be like his mom saying like, call me. And so he'd go to the nearest like phone and like call, you know,
Yeah.
because he couldn't carry around a cell phone. People couldn't receive calls. So that was his signal to like, call me, you know, when you're available or right now. So, but those still exist. But they still exist to the extent that in the past couple of years, I don't remember what year it was, but America sold $7 million worth of pagers.
Wow.
Yeah. So there is a large market for them still. That was insane. So the next one we're going to get to is, I didn't even know that it was this old, but it is. And we use it every day. It is the QWERTY keyboard.
QWERTY keyboard.
Right. So that's the term for the keyboard that you use, right? You type on it, and it's called QWERTY because the first the first 6 letters, QWERTY. QWERTY, right, in the top left. So that's the layout of the computer, or the keyboard. That was invented in 1873. The layout was invented before computers were a thing, right? It was, you know, they used it on typewriters and stuff, but we haven't had a keyboard layout change since then.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
you'd think someone would change it, right? Because now we mainly use it like with our thumbs and stuff. We don't need this with our fingers, and because that's what it was designed for. But nobody's changed it yet. So if
I don't know what you would change it to.
Something more efficient for thumb location, right? Like I can envision it now. It's like 2 letters where your thumbs are, surrounded by a circle of other letters for each thumb. So it'd be.
I mean, okay, I could see that, but like,
Yeah.
I feel like it would take some getting used to.
It would, and I think that's the big thing. Nobody wants to make that giant switch.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now we're getting into the more interesting stuff of, like, wow, I can't believe people still use those.
Okay.
So this one is a floppy disk.
A floppy disk.
Are you familiar with floppy disks?
No.
Have you ever seen one?
No. I'm picturing a CD.
No. So a floppy disk is actually, you know, on like Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, the save icon?
Yes.
That is what a floppy disk looks like. And that's what the save icon is modeled after, is a floppy disk. Because it was like one of the first forms of external storage that we had.
Okay.
Like, it's the first flash drive, basically. Invented in 1971 is when it started rolling out. The big, like, huge ones saved less than, like, a megabyte of storage. It would be worth, like, a 3-minute song.
Oh.
And it was, like, revolutionary that you could save 3 minutes of an audio file.
Wow.
But they're, like, when that started rolling out, you know, the internet was originally used for, like, military and, like, high-up people. So this was just for them, and they integrated it so hard into the internet that we still have governmental systems that store information on floppy disks.
Whoa.
We have aircraft and submarines. Our Navy uses floppy disks to run their submarines. But like they also use Windows XP, which was the first model of Windows. Like we're on Windows 11, and they still use Windows XP. Like it didn't even have a number. That's how old it is.
What?
So,
Whoa.
they're running on Windows XP and floppy disks, and they're so old that our military made a contract with Windows just so they could have their own like consulting people for Windows XP, because they don't sell it anymore,
No.
right?
It's so old.
Yes, they don't sell it. So our military not only made that contract, but they developed their own department who specializes in Windows XP.
What?
Yeah, because it's too hard to change, but they're working on gradually changing it. But it was so integrated into the system, right? Nobody expected the internet to change that fast.
This is so weird to me because,
It
like,
is.
I know going like to Apple, it was like a couple years ago where they would like slow down your phone, and like there was like a lawsuit against them. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It would force you to buy the newer one.
Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of like reminds me of that because like of how slow it would be, but like they're not even pressuring them. It's just like what they want.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
So interesting to me.
the military's not going to spare expense, so I don't think
No.
they have to worry about that.
That's true.
Also, Japan, like all of Japan's government uses floppy disks, not just the military and navy, like all of it.
Why?
It's nuts, and I guess it's like it's a secure hard copy, right? Like
Sure.
the cloud is not secure and whatnot, but
Yeah.
man,
My iCloud
it's
is
just
so
it's
full.
crazy. So the fourth on our list, the next one, is actually, it blew my mind at first. Like, I was like, there is no way people still use this. But once I thought about it, it made sense.
Okay.
It's dial-up internet.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what dial-up is?
Dial up. Is
So-
that like where you can call on your computer?
No, kind of, but no, not really. So when internet first rolled out outside of the military to commercial use, it was on a system called dial-up. And that was because the internet, like the way we accessed it, we didn't have a separate thing for it. So do you know what Ethernet is?
No.
No way. So Ethernet, the cord you plug like into your computer and you plug into your internet router,
Uh-huh.
that is an Ethernet cable. It's also called a Cat5 cable.
See, that's why I just call the Wi-Fi guy.
Well, that's not Wi-Fi. So
And he just does it for
Wi-Fi
me.
is wireless, right?
Uh-huh.
You are wiring into the internet. It's
Okay.
faster, more
Yeah,
secure.
I've never done this.
Well,
Okay.
you used to always have to be wired in,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it wasn't separate. So you would have to wire in through your telephone line.
Mm-hmm.
Your telephone gave you internet. So you would have to log onto your computer and you would call the internet. And it sounds really weird, but that's literally what you would do. You would put in a number and you would dial up your internet. And that's how you would establish your connection.
Okay.
Like it wasn't available at all times. You would have to turn it on, and then it's like requesting access.
Whoa.
So you'd
where?
have to
Okay,
put it
how
in.
does this apply today?
People still use it. People still call
Where?
in for their internet. It's in places where like rural areas where Wi-Fi isn't accessible much, or people who just like don't need Wi-Fi. They run on dial-up because it's cheaper. It's like super slow though as well.
I'm
Like you can't even
sure.
watch a YouTube video on it. That's how
Oh,
slow it is.
no.
But I guarantee the ads would still load just because that's how YouTube works.
That's so true.
Yeah. So that one was crazy, but it makes sense, right? Now we're at our last one on our list. And
Okay, I'm ready for this one.
this one, like, I feel like I've hyped it up. It's not going to be as crazy
Bruh.
as you think, but it's just like, I can't imagine someone actually using this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like if I saw someone use it, I might make fun of them. Because that's how weird it is.
Okay.
It's an abacus.
Definition.
Do you remember, like, in grade school, there would be, like, a bunch of colored beads on sticks, and you would, like, slide them around and learn to count?
Yes.
That's an abacus.
What? I'm so confused.
You would slide it around, and that's your abacus. Like, it's
Yeah.
how people would count. So
Okay.
its first use, we chronicled it in 1200 BC.
Oh my.
But we guess that it can be invented as early as 2400 BC. So this is a 6,000 to 7,000 year old piece of technology that people legitimately still use. Apparently in Europe, like, people carry them in their pockets
Why?
instead of using a calculator. They pull it out, and that's how they
No.
count and do calculations.
No. Okay, honestly, I just want to go to Europe just to see that.
I mean, I don't think like
Do
you walk
think
and
it's,
everybody
like,
uses it.
popular? See, like it's not popular, but people still use it.
Yeah, I would say like from what I was reading, it seemed like probably 30% of the population.
Do you
in
think
other
they're like
countries still use them.
elderly 30%?
I don't know.
That's what I want to know.
I would
Is it
say
elderly?
people above 35.
Okay, yeah.
I would say 30% of the entire population. Anyone above 35 has like a 60% chance of having one. 40 to 60% chance.
Wow. So if I walk into like, I don't know, I feel like if I walk into like a nursing home, be like, hey, can you add this for
Nursing
me?
home, or even like, I'd say stores. I think stores
Like
use them
grocery
too.
stores.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Grocery stores or any type of store, I guess.
Okay, any type of store.
How much are these 2 items? That's how they do.
That's so
That's how they count.
weird.
And that's insane to me. Because we have calculators, right? And all of these, we have like modern versions of them. But it just shows that like there are still some people who rely on this old technology, no matter how advanced we get. We are still reliant on things in the past, whether it be for we don't want to use a calculator and we still want to count little circles on tablets, or you're the military and you made your entire system on floppy disks, thinking that that's all that would exist for eternity. Right?
Oh,
I don't think
my.
they were prepared on that one. They didn't think ahead.
Don't think they did either.
But yeah, so a little stuff to think about when you go purchase the iPhone 14 or your newest set of AirPods, which I'm looking at, or for Christmas.
It's like, hi, Mom.
I don't know, yeah. My parents are watching. I'll put it on my list. So, yeah. But as crazy as they are, some people are still out there using them. So stop by Corbley Hall at some point and grab your copy of the newest episode of Herd Talks on a floppy disk. We'll have it available. If you can't make it, go ahead and dial up your internet and you can find us there, right? So, because we can only store 3 minutes on each floppy disk. So
Yep.
it'll be a lot of floppy disks. You got to change it out about 5 times to get the full episode, but we'll have them here for you. Since some people still use them. That's an audience we're missing, apparently. But thank you for sticking around. Hopefully you found these as shocking as I did when I was researching them. I don't know if they actually were shocking, but
I was pretty shocked with a couple of them.
right.
Yeah.
So, but it makes sense, like, after you think about it, but it's the element of, like, surprise, like, when you first hear, like, what?
Yeah, it's like, why? Like, just use your
Yeah.
iPhone.
So that exactly, like, the iPhone covers all of it. Steve Jobs was an amazing, like, that was nuts. But if you're new, thank you for coming and joining us on this journey. Hopefully you choose to come back and stick around. If you're returning, thank you for liking us enough to come back.
Just stick around.
That's pretty cool, right? We appreciate it. So no matter who you are, though, check the description wherever you're listening to this to find links to all of our social media platforms and directories, as well as a few forms you can feel free to send in responses for, including an anonymous feedback form and an opportunity for you to have your very own podcast episode. We want to give Marshall students, staff, faculty, and community members a platform where they can talk about what they want to, what you're passionate for. So fill that out. Come on, have your very own episode. We'll even title it the blank blank episode, whatever your name is. The John Smith episode.
The John Smith.
Whatever. John Smith. What? Whoever you are, we'll have it. We'll even burn a copy onto a floppy disk for you to give to your grandma.
For your grandma.
You can keep it forever. So don't miss out on that opportunity, right? Go fill those out. Check out our social platforms. Drop us a few follows so you can make sure there's nothing you haven't heard on campus.
See ya.